Today I was going to go over rust proofing the 2022 Ford Maverick. I used Waxoyl products on this vehicle. I removed all of the underfairing and fender liners. I'm not going to show any spraying of the product. If you can use aerosol paint cans, you can use this product. It applies very easily. I'll go over and show you how I gained access to the front pillar and the center and rear pillar for the vehicle without drilling holes, and how I got in the rocker panel. I do believe I've gotten about every nook and cranny on this vehicle, and I'll share with you how I did that, and let's get started. Just to show you, I've got my truck up on 4 ramps so I can get it up in the air front and back at the same time. I'm working in my garage, palm tree and all, no special tools. And basically, if you can change oil in your vehicle, you can do this. It's a little more involved, but it can still easily be done. I have all of the inner wheel wells removed, and all of the bottom skirting. They're draft plates for the bottom for aerodynamics, and the spare tires down. This front plate is the one you'll be pulling down when you change oil. And of course, the left and right fender liner. You have your plate on the driver's side is 2 pieces, passenger side is 1 piece. I removed 1 heat shield, both of the rear fender liners and the spare tire. I used the Waxoyl hard wax on the spare tire to keep that from rusting. And there's nothing hard about this. There's just a lot to pull out. The fender liners come out with push pins and a couple screws here and there on each one. All of the bottom liners just are held in with a few push pins and some stamped steel nuts. Everything comes off really easily. These panels are super lightweight, all of them. They almost have a velvety feel to them. So there again, this can be done. If this is something you want to do yourself, you can certainly do it. You could do the front and then do the back. You know, you don't have to do the whole vehicle all at once. We're going to roll under the Maverick from the front headed towards the back. This is with all of the skirting removed. Up front here, all of the black cross bracing. I put the Waxoyl hard wax on. This is the area when you pull the front skid cover down. When you change the oil, I wanted that to be the hard wax so it'd be dry. We're rolling back. I know it's kind of hard to get a focus on things here. I did not spray any electrical equipment. I sprayed the wires, of course, but the connectors and then anything else electrical, I did not spray. This is just all the fuel lines, and everything has the clear Waxoyl on it. Make sure you're going from different directions and spraying different things. I'm just going down the driver's side rather than trying to switch from side to side. Make sure you get all these channels sprayed up inside. Spray from different directions. And just keep double checking to make sure you haven't missed anything. Out here on the rockers, you can get up in these little holes there and spray up. We're back to the fuel tank. On the rear axle, I've sprayed everything. Like I said, just go from different directions. Keep checking to make sure you haven't missed anything. You can see the clear oil. It's ran in some places. It's amber where it's a little bit thicker. It's more translucent where there's a lighter coat. But just spray everything. Make sure you get, like I said, just everything from different directions. I just put some plastic bags around the wheels to keep the spray off the rotors. I've dropped the spare tire. I wrapped the exhaust in plastic. I'm back here at the rear now. This is where the spare tire would go. And you'll see what I mean. I'm just going to spin around. And as you spin, you'll get a little different angle on things and a different perspective. And you can hit the same area from different angles and make sure you're getting the back of the braces. Get up there underneath in these cross members, spraying all of those. The rear tubes here. There's a tube here that supports the hub. And it goes around there where the coil springs are. I've sprayed the pockets where the springs sit. They're going to hold a lot of junk. Sprayed the coil springs. I taped over all of the electrical connections. I didn't want to spray those. I know most people do. I just didn't want to get those full of goo. I'm at the back of the vehicle now looking forward. The back hitch, I've sprayed the hard wax on. Keep it from rusting. This just has the 4-pin connector on it. And that's it. I'll do another run through after all the bottom skirting's on. It will look completely different. There's bottom skirting on almost everything underneath here. I wanted to show you up in the fender wells what I've noticed here. I'm on the passenger side rear fender well, and you see this looks like a bookshelf up there, doesn't it? I mean, look at that big flat shelf there. That's just going to hold junk and road salt and just mud and slush and junk up there. It seemed like a real rust point to me. Going to the back here, this fender support coming out, it has a large flat area on it also. It's going to hold a lot of stuff. So make sure you spray those well. Get up in here, you can get all these seams sealed. You can go in these pockets. You can see the areas here, these holes right here. You can spray in there. And I'm just pointing out that this very front hole way up there, right in the corner up there, up about ½ inch off the floor there, that little hole right up in the corner just goes into your truck bed. Don't spray, don't stick your wand in there and spray. You'll just be cleaning out your truck bed. There is a vent up here on each side in the rear. Tape that over. You don't want to spray, cover that with spray. You'll just plug the filter. It's just a cab vent. Like I said, one on each side. So tape those, and when you're done, pull the tape. Get all these spot welded seams sealed up with the cavity coater in there. This spray, like I said, from different angles, get a good coat everywhere. Looking towards the rear on the passenger side, that's that black box you see there is a little storage cubby that you access from the truck bed. Otherwise, you can see back there, and those the tail lights are back in those rib panels in the back there. So you can see when I don't have the camera going, you can actually see some daylight around the lenses on the rear lights. So they go all the way to the back. Spray up there as well as you can from different angles. Get back in everywhere, as I've said. The holes, spray in the holes here, both directions. There's a space up here you need to spray. Right down there in that cavity. In fact, I missed that. I'm going to go back and spray that before I put the fender liners back in. Let's move up to the front. I've sprayed up here. Nothing special. There's a brace up here you'll need to spray and go down. Try not to spray the engine. There's no point to get this this sealer on the engine, and some of the steel goes down to the plastic. On the front here, from this joint down, is plastic, which is, in my opinion, good. There is a metal cross brace way up front there. I don't know if you can see it or not, probably not. But you can get that sprayed. To access this front pillar panel with fender liners removed, I've removed one of the hinge bolts right here. And with the fender liner out, I'm going to open that door real quick. There's the bolt I removed right there. Focus. And in that hole, you can go in and access this panel. I found no other way to get into this column other than through that hole without drilling. There's a baffle down here, right about where my finger's at. So you can come up from the bottom through the rocker clip holes and get up to the baffle. You can go from this hole down, get on top of the baffle. You can take your hose and push it up and get up higher. Of course, the important area is the part down low, but you want to coat it all. And you can see here I've had to wipe some of this wax away because I didn't realize I was going to have to take this bolt out until I was trying to access the columns. But that's how you get to the front columns here on both sides. Make sure you do that with the fender weld liners removed. It's really easy to get to. That bolt's not tight. There wasn't any Loctite on it, and there's still another bolt to hold that bottom hinge in place so it won't move on you. So that should work really well. And it's the same on the other side. I am going to pull these wheels off after I get it back on the ground. I didn't do that, but I think there'll be some spots I can access better once I get the wheels off. I'll do that when I'm back off the ramps. Well, I'm very glad to say I got all the bottom skirting put back in, and the wheel weld liners will roll through here again before I take it off the ramps. And you can see all the shielding down here. Got the front engine shield here. This is the one you'll be taking down when you change the oil. We go back, get past all the cross members. The bottom here is part of the fender liner. We're on the driver's side. It might be hard to tell. Just it's skirting almost all the way back. Got the heat shield put back up. I took this heat shield down. You kind of have to fight it. It was kind of a hassle, but not too bad. But got the spare tire up. I have a cover on it. Cut a hole in the center for drainage. Have all the tape off the muffler. I'm very happy to have all that done and back together. Everything's back together. The rust proofing is done. I wanted to go over a few things here with you. If you notice on the wheel well liners, they don't seal real well. There are just a lot of gaps, and this is a really soft liner. So there's going to be a lot of slop getting up in there. These pins come out. You see that one has a slot. You'll simply pop a screwdriver in that slot, pop that center pin partially out, and then pull the whole retainer out. There are other push pins back in further. You can see them back there, the larger heads on them. And there are about 6 of the push pins back around in this liner. And then you have the ones on the outer rim, of course. And then when you look at the bottom here, right behind the front wheel, look at this gap you have down there. I'll probably put mud flaps on the front at least, just to cover this gap right here. I mean, that's going to catch a lot of junk. On the plus side, it's open behind the fender right here. There's nothing behind there to trap junk. So hopefully what gets back there will have a chance to wash out when you're just driving out in the rain. But just a lot of loose spots on here to catch a lot of junk. And that's why you really need to get up here and rust proof behind this little bit of a lip. These tabs here where the pins hook, you know, it's just important to rust proof this whole lip and the whole, well, everything, but the lip especially. This is where they want to rust out so bad, right around that inner lip where it holds the junk. And then in the other video, I showed you how to reach in through this area to get to that door hinge bolt to access this front panel. It's hard to see in here, but the front bottom hinge bolt down here, you'll take that out from the front, then you can access this panel. There is a baffle down, let me go back out here. When you go up in the rocker, up to this front pillar, and you're not going in the fender, you think you're going up in the fender, but there's nothing back there. There's a space and then the pillar. And you can go up in that pillar to about this height in the pillar, and there's a baffle. And that's all the further you can get up. So you need to take that bolt out, and you can go down to the top of that baffle, and then you can go up the pillar also. In the door, there are only 2 drain holes. There's one back here. You see the Waxoyl seeping out of there. That's good. And there's one way up front here, and it's really hard to get to that and get your hose to turn and go back towards the center of the door. So if you take a long hose, your applicator wand, and go right in this hole, and I hooked 2 of those hoses together to make a 24-inch hose, or actually a 36-inch hose, and you can get in the back here, or in this hole, and go all the way towards the front. And then you'll actually be able to see the end of your applicator wand up in this front hole. So you can pull that wand back all along here and get that whole seam done really well. Then take your applicator wand and you can go straight up, get up in the door panel, and then you can angle it around to get up in this area. And the same way in the front one, you can go straight up that front panel or that drain hole and get up into here and get that seam taken care of. And that pretty well takes care of your door. I didn't worry about doing the whole door inside, probably the bottom 1/4 or the bottom 1/3 of the door where it's going to rust. But go up this seam here as far as you can to get that. And the same way on this front seam. To do this center post, let me open this back door. Oh, and it's locked, of course. Wouldn't you know it? Hang on. There we go. Just a note on this keypad, if you enter your code, it will unlock the front door. If you push the 3-4 button within 5 seconds, it will unlock all the doors. You push 7-8 together and it will lock all doors. To get to this center post right here, take out one of your latch bolts here for the door. And it's a T40. Take it out. You can go down to in here. There's a baffle right about here. So when you're doing your rocker panel from below, and I'll show that in just a minute, you can get up there and you'll hit the baffle. And when you take this out, you can go down to the baffle, take your wand in there and move it around a bit to cover this whole space, and then and pull it up, and then take your wand, aim it up, and then spray and pull it down, and then put that bolt back in. And your rocker panel from underneath will take you right to the bottom of this threshold here. And you can go up from the bottom and you can actually feel, I probed around with a coat hanger, and when you're tapping from below through the rocker panel, the clips, you can feel it tapping right on here. And you can come back here and you can feel that it's still, even this space you think it might be open, there's still a baffle or a brace in here about this height. so you can't go from the bottom all the way up. To do the back, the bottom two rocker panel clip holes, and there's one here and there's one up here. When those are out, and I had all those clips out, you can go up in this rear panel. Remember, it's not the fender, that's hollow back here. It's this post right here. You can get up in those back two rocker clip holes up into this area right about here. And then there's a baffle in here. When you go up there, your wand will go up quite a ways further, but it stops right about this area right here. So there again, take one of the bolts out of your latch, out of your catch here, and you can go down, move that around, and then you can go back up. And it should take care of this. Let's see if I can get down and show that rocker panel. You have 9 of these rocker panel clips on each side, and they come out. I thought I could take them out by turning them. If you look at, oh my goodness, this access hole, this recessed area, how it's not squared off, it's wider at this end than over here. If you turn that, put a screwdriver in that slot, push up and turn that, it'd be clockwise, 90 degrees, they should pop out. But the problem I had was I broke a bunch doing that. And some I could get out without breaking them, others I couldn't. And once you get them, turn them 90 degrees, even if you break them, you'll have to flex this plastic rocker cover down and slide them out through this slot right there. And the thing is to release them all, get them all loose, and then slide them out. Once they're all out of there, all the way along, you can flex this rocker panel cover down easier. The plastic will flex down a lot easier when they're all out. And I ordered new clips. If there's a better way to take those out so you don't break them, leave a note for other people. I couldn't find a way to do it without breaking them. I ordered new ones. It wasn't a big deal. And when all these clips are out, you can spray up in the panel. You can get up into that rear column back here, and you can just take your wand all the way along. And then there is somewhere, give you an idea where I'm at here, I'm between the doors, somewhere in the center area, when you rock this panel cover down, and you can flex it down quite a ways when you get all the clips out, and there'll be some holes up here in the steel rocker. And one of those round holes, somewhere in this mid area point, you can see the edge of a baffle in the hole. There's a hole about the size of a quarter up behind the plastic. And you can see the edge of a baffle. And when I checked around in there, you can see one edge of the baffle, and there's another edge to the baffle about 8 inches forward, I think it was, or backwards. I can't recall, to be honest with you. My point is, there's a baffle in there, and you can't go up. It has to do, I'm sure, with the center post support. And you can't, you can get between the baffle from this rocker area. If you try to drill a hole up in the door threshold and go both ways, you're going to hit that baffle, and there'll be a space between there where you haven't treated. And also, when you have this rocker panel off, the plastic panel, from underneath, as I said, it will flex out a long ways. And from underneath, spray some of your cavity coater up behind there. So you're getting it coated behind the plastic. You're getting coating the metal. It's painted metal, and you're getting that coated also behind the plastic. And then spray up in all those rocker panel holes from underneath. There are 9 of them. Spray both directions, soak it good, and then you put your new clips in. When your new clips go in, they will just slide in those slots and get them all slid in before you start popping them in. That way you can flex this rocker panel down easier and get those all in, and once they're in, go back and pop them up. And that worked out really well. I tried taking this rear mud flap off when I pulled the liners, and I took the one push pin and the two bolts out, and I could not get that thing off. It's hooked in there with some tabs, and I didn't want to break it, so I ended up not pulling that little deflector up there in the front. I call it the mud flap, but it's in front of the tire, so I'm not sure what the purpose is. But I could not get this off even after I had it loose. And you do that with the rocker panels, and you'll get that coated really well. You can see stuff coming out down there. That's what I want. I don't care. And I've got that seam sealed really well. That's going to catch a lot of road salt and junk. And those are the areas that are going to want to rust. And then, because I get carried away with everything I do, after I had it back together, this plastic seam up here, where the this rocker panel wraps around, I sprayed that with the cavity coater, just sprayed it right out of the can, all the way along there, and I let it sit overnight to soak in from the top. I'm not sure how that plastic liner clips in there or how it's hooked, but I wanted to get that front edge sealed up too. So I think with that, with doing that front hinge bolt, the door latch bolts on both towers, on the middle and rear, you're able to get it, you know, I think everywhere. I don't think I missed much. Also, I want to point out this joint right here. And I'll show you where I'm at here. I'm in the back door, but this joint is open to the back. So when you have your fender liners out of there and you're spraying forward, it's going to come out around this gap here. So make sure you have your door shut so it doesn't spray out and get onto the seats or upholstery or anything, places you don't want. And then when you're done, just open the door up and you can wipe off the excess right along the door edge. To do the tailgate's really fairly simple. You have a good access point right here. You can take your wand in there, the longer wand, and get past center and coat that whole bottom seam. And from that hole too, you can move the wand around to get a good part of the bottom. And through this hole right here, you get your wand in and coat down the side here a bit from the top and out into the center as well. So the tailgate's pretty straightforward. You can see I've got some wax running out. That's fine. I'll go back and wipe this stuff out. I'd rather have it running out and know I got a nice coat in there than miss something. Also in the back, you can pop out these electrical connections and you can spray down the post and then back up into that post. Do that on both sides. You also have a rubber plug here and a rubber plug up here. You can use that. Mainly I use that to spray up more, try to get up a little higher. And I sprayed in the holes here. And you can't really turn your hose around. And also there's a plug up here. And I just tried to get in these holes, just try to spray up higher. And when you come in this, your power outlet down here, make sure you go up in this post as high as you can to get this coated good up there. And you do that on both sides. This is a hole from the fender area down in the front corner of your cab. You can stick your wand in there from the fender well. Excuse me. But don't do that, you'll just have a mess in the cab. Same thing on this other side. You have the plugs and your electrical connection cover right there. So when you do that, I think you're really getting this back column fairly well. You can spray this stuff from the fender well area also, but it's just harder to reach back there. I think getting in here and going up, you're really getting around those lights good, the tail lights, and you're getting that whole post really well. You can see some of the cavity wax coming up there. Some of those rippled joints that you see from the fender liner are right in these areas. So when you stick in and spray, and a person really, it wouldn't hurt just to spray a coat of wax right in this joint and then wipe out the excess. But there you go. And there's one area I wanted to show you. On the inside, on the passenger side, rear seat, some point from outside when I was spraying that rear fender area, I had a puddle of Waxoyl right in here. I mean, it was a puddle, it was running down. I actually had overspray over to the jack area. So somewhere from outside underneath, I got up into the cab. I don't know where, but just be aware of that. So after you spray, you might want to double check some of these spots. I don't see any over there. This is first I've checked. So I'm not sure what happened over here, but I had a big puddle inside I had to wipe up. I wanted to go over the products I used, where I got them from. We'll start here. The rocker panel clips I purchased on eBay. And this is a receipt off of eBay. I don't see a product number on here, but if you do a search with that description, I bought 2 packs of these. They're 10 per pack, and you need 9 per side. These are the actual clips. These are old clips I've broken when I took them out. But those are the clips. These are the exact replacement for the clips that were on there. And there again, eBay, and I ordered 2 packs. These are the push pins in the fender wells, the large ones. 1 30-piece pack, I believe, will be enough. I ordered 2. I always order extra to have for the next project. And this is what I ordered off of Amazon. And they were the exact replacement. The old ones, when you pull them out, can get a little bit chewed up. And you can certainly reuse them. I just opted to, since I could find them, and ordered them on Amazon to get those. I didn't use any of the automotive touch-up paint, but I always try to have touch-up paint on hand for any vehicle I have. I go through automotivetouchup.com. It's Microfinish LLC, but the website's automotivetouchup.com. That's their logo. So when you see their logo on the website, you're at the right place. You have to get your paint code off your door tag. They'll give you a paint code, and then you'll use that on this website to get the right paint. The Waxoyl Plus, the hard wax, it's black. I use that up on the front cross members. It hardens. I got that from Rovers North. The website is roversnorth.com. The hard wax plus, that number, that RNW number with the 3 at the end. The 3 is a quantity. The 3 is not part of the product number, but that's the hard wax, Rovers North. I got the Power Shield cavity coater, and if you look, it says cavity and underbody, transparent beige. I got that through Rovers North also, and there's the number for it. There again, that 6 at the end of the number is a quantity. I ordered this several times from them. Make sure when you get this product, you're getting the Power Shield. If you look in the description there, let's see where it says here. Well, I'm looking. It's a 120-4 Power Shield. And they also make a 120-4 Hard Wax Plus. That's a good product, but that's not what you want. You want the Power Shield cavity coater. So make sure you're ordering the right product. As you can tell, I ordered the wrong product once. So the Power Shield, though, make sure you're getting that. It's Waxoyl with OYL at the end. Rovers North. I also got this on Amazon. You can buy the 3-pack on Amazon. Waxoyl Power Shield 120-4. It's currently unavailable. I'm not sure what's going on there. I bought, well, you can see I ordered it 4 times through this seller on Amazon. Really good service, but something, I'm not sure what's going on. Hopefully it will be available soon. It's actually a little bit cheaper on Rovers North, but I had good service from both sellers. And Rovers North was really good with answering some questions I had. When you order on Amazon, if it's available, when you order the 3-pack, you'll also get the 24-inch wand applicator, which is right there. You'll get one of those included with every 3-pack, as well as some instructions and some Waxoyl stickers. Because I'd ordered the Waxoyl 4 times on Amazon, I had 4 of the 24-inch sprayers. Each can will come with a small nozzle attached to it. And because I had 4 of those long nozzles, I was able to I cut one and splice it to make a longer 36-inch tube for the doors with the ends on it that atomize it. And what I did to splice it, I just pulled the brass pin out of one of the caps, and I used that to join the 2 hoses together. I just had some tape I wrapped around to make sure it wouldn't blow apart. So that was pretty simple to do. That got me in the door panels and back in the tailgate. So those are the products I use. I ended up using 21 cans of the Power Shield and 1 can of the hard wax. Again, the hard wax is for the front cross members up front. The tools I used, 1/4 inch, I used a 7mm socket, a 10mm, a T30 and a T40. You need the T30 for the bolts up front on that front skid plate up by the engine, and the T40s for those door bolts, the latch bolts. A 13mm wrench will get that hinge bolt taken out. A small screwdriver to pop some of the pins, and then also the pin pulling tools, the pin pullers. I have a couple different of those. You'll need a good mask to wear when if you're laying underneath. All that vapor drops right down on you. So don't wear a paper mask. You can buy these cheap enough at the big box stores. I think they're about 25 bucks, and you can replace the cartridges. So use one of these. Just don't use a paper mask when you're laying on your back underneath. All that stuff's going to fall on you. Also, you need safety glasses. When you're underneath, again, you don't think much is coming down on you until you get done, and you're all sticky when you're done, and your safety glasses are all fogged over. So safety glasses too. I use this little organizer to put all my parts in. Otherwise, it would have been much harder when you had everything down. Each one of these trays with a mark in it where I have writing was full, and those are the leftover rocker clips that are all busted. I didn't use. I replaced those. But that's what I used. Simple, straightforward. It takes some time. Do it if you're going to do it. Do it how you want. Take your time. Do a section at a time. But I just got the new vehicle in. I wanted to do it all at once, and while the vehicle was still clean, so that's what I did. I've had the Maverick 3 weeks now. I've driven it about 100 yards. I'm going to take it out later today. The road's finally cleared up, get rid of all the slop. But those are the products. I hope it was helpful. I think if you're going to have this vehicle and own it, it's yours. You plan to keep it a while. You better get it rust-proofed. I think you'll have troubles if you don't. I think that's it. I've tried to let you guys know in some of the other clips I've shown why I think you need to rust-proof the Maverick. And it's something a person can do. If you, like I said, if you can change oil, you can do this. Do a section at a time if you don't want to pull everything down at once. And it'd be easy, even if you don't want to go underneath. You can pull the fender liners from the outside here, from above, with the tires on. You can do all the cavity coating without ever crawling underneath if you want to just do that. But the fenders, they're just going to give you problems over the years if you don't rust-proof them. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any comments, I'd really like to know too, from people who do body work and rust-proofing, how these unibody vehicles look 10 or 15 years down the road when they're driven in a harsh environment with a lot of the road salt and brine they put down. I'm just curious, all the sheet metal framing, and I say framing, there is a frame on it, it's just part of the body. If there's no frame, this vehicle just be a pile of mush. So there is a frame on it, it's just part of the body, and it's all sheet metal. And you start to rust through sheet metal, you don't have much left, do you? Just Swiss cheese. So I'm curious about that. Leave a note if you work on a lot of these, what they look like 10 years down the road. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope my next video gets a little better.